Burgess Autistic Trust, BAT, is an independent, specialist, local charity committed to improving the quality of life of people with autism. Autism is a lifelong developmental disorder which impacts on an individual's ability to communicate and interact with other people. It has been called the hidden disability, as often people present well but are in fact dealing with huge challenges in coping with day-to-day living.
All through my life I've been struggling with my family and people and that.
Didn't go out at all, had no social life, no friends, no nothing really, just stayed indoors the whole time.
I've had lots of jobs and lots of problems, usually around communications and misunderstandings and all kinds of things.
Burgess Autistic Trust is committed to providing person-centred support. We provide free information and support to adults with autism and their families and carers. This support covers a range of issues typically experienced by an adult with an ASD. These can include housing, communication, finances, benefits, isolation, social opportunities, employment, education, relationships, and independent living, to name a few.
My name is Mary. I am the parent of Thomas. He is 23 years old now, and he had a sort of informal diagnosis of ASD when he was about 7, 8. As he was becoming an adult, was finding it increasingly difficult to access groups socially. So we contacted Burgess, and they were able to offer Thomas a 6-week course, social skills workshop, which was lovely for him. He was able to meet with other young people in a similar situation to him, and also build up relationships with the workers who were running the course, which he really benefited from. I've also been supported by the parent group, which was really nice just to meet and find out information from them. You know, to have that put on by the Burgess Trust was great.
I'm Delia, and I help run the Burgess Autistic Trust Library, which, as you can see, is a fantastic selection of books on all aspects of autism. Some very specific topics like diagnosis and diet, but also we have books on just generally about autism and Asperger's syndrome. This is a wonderful resource that we're very proud of, and we keep up to date as best we can.
And it was only as I got to nearer 40 that I finally had enough, really. And I figured that I wanted to spend the second half of my life probably happier than I did the first.
I started to get a little bit more confident because once I knew that I wasn't on my own. And then I was introduced to BATS, and that made me feel even better because then I could then start being myself.
And she said, you should go to BAT, and I didn't want to, and then she said she'd come with me, and then I came here and met you, and that has basically completely changed my life. Beforehand I wouldn't go out, I wouldn't go on the train or a bus or the tube or public transport of any sort. I was afraid of it.
Many people with autism do not meet the criteria for statutory services, and therefore the support services provided by Burgess Autistic Trust are a lifeline for many adults with an ASD.
I think for Thomas it's enabled him to grow in confidence over the last 2 or 3 years, and also an acceptance for him of his diagnosis, which has been great.
For the first time in my life, being amongst people, I felt comfortable, I wasn't feeling anxious. And then through that, I met the other people I met. I found friends, and I've done things I never even dreamed in my life I would do.
Basically, I've gone from just existing to having a life. I have friends now. We go out and do things.
The most help I've had is probably through BAT, the meeting of friends, I suppose. I've never had friends before that I had friends that I could pretend to be like them, but it was never sustainable. But there is no pretending. I've never laughed like I laugh with my friends, because we are of a very similar mind. We all have a very similar interest.
Clearly the future is very uncertain and we do have worries about it, but it is just nice to know that Burgess Trust is there for him and he'll be able to access that going forward.